Hey, welcome back to the Detective Story Studios. I'm Mike Hammond. I just thought I'd drop a little video here to talk about what's been going on, what we've done so far with podcast, and where we have uh, hope to go from here. You may be asking yourself, "Hey, what's with the silly hat?" First of all, I don't think it's silly. I really like this hat. Also, I'm going in the next couple of days to see my guys at the Irving Park Barber Shop to cut my mop. So the hat was necessary for this evening. So that's that. But to the podcast, we've got 3 episodes out. Uh, Platforms: Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Whatever you listen to, you should be able to find it. It's Detective Story with Mike Hammond. I think there are two really good episodes. Three pretty good episodes. At least two really good ones. Thank you to Miss Geneva Crosby and Miss Florence Kitchen for making the first two pretty cool. Miss Crosby's granddaughter of Geneva Redding, who's the subject of podcast one, was an amazing woman. I hope you'll listen to that. She lived in that neighborhood where she was killed for nearly 60 years and was just a wrecking machine of a human being who influenced everybody around her. And even at 85 years old, she went before she should have, but she went out a fighter. And I think it's worth a listen, if for no other reason, just to hear Miss Crosby's great recollection of her grandmother. And interesting side note that you won't hear in the podcast you're hearing here, and talking with Florence Kitchen, the mother of Nicole Kitchen, in episode two. She mentioned to me that she recalled Geneva Redding. She grew up in that neighborhood or close by. She remembered Miss Redding, the woman who always dressed really well and was really loved. And she remembers when she was killed and how much effect it had on the neighborhood. Um, so that was kind of an interesting side note uh, to that story. And then Miss Kitchen talking about her daughter Nicole, who led a way too short but amazing life, getting herself uh, out of pretty rough poverty into becoming a very successful young businesswoman before she was killed. I think that's a also a pretty interesting story. So it's worth a listen. If you, we appreciate it. If you go to Apple, Spotify, any of those, and you download and like, subscribe, all those things they ask you to give us a rating if you like. If you don't like it, ignore it. Just kidding. Give it any rating you want. Um, and to the third episode, I got a lot of what in the wide world of sports is going on? It's a little different. I wanted to do that a little different. It was a little more current events, and I wanted to talk a little bit more about what we do as investigators in cases like I described in there. Um, and I had a good friend of mine who's a boss in the police department advised me on what the administrative end looked like. So I think there's some interest there as well. Um, you tell me, listen to it, and tell me your thoughts. We're going to continue to grow with that podcast and do a bunch of different things. I always, it's my nature to kind of want to cue on the victims. I don't think the victims get enough remembrance from the people outside of her family, us that worked on the cases, uh, and some pretty outstanding human beings a lot of times, and that's kind of what I want to continue to focus on. But there's a lot to talk about, and we'll continue to grow. I'm going to do more of the YouTube stuff as I go along here to just kind of make it more visual, and we'll talk about these cases a little bit more. Just get a lot more detail on the podcast. Um, so go there for that stuff. I am going to be starting a dedicated YouTube channel with a good friend of mine, Josh Weitzman, who's a narcotics detective and a very good one. Really good man, a lot of fun, a little more dynamic personality than me. But we're going to have some fun talking about some things I think that you'll enjoy. So tune in for that. And I hope you like it. Again, I want to give my thanks to Geneva Crosby and Florence Kitchen for taking part in those first two episodes. My buddy in the third, who still working, so I leave him unnamed. But I appreciate that. We will have people step in. One of my old partners is going to be an active part of, besides Josh on the YouTube thing, but on the podcast talking about murder is going to come in, help me out a little bit with that. I think that'll be really interesting. If you have suggestions, I'm new to this, trying to figure it out, trying to not hurt anybody or front anybody off, but tell some of these stories. Unless you're a killer in prison and convicted, then sympathetic. So that's where we're headed. But let me know if you have comments, you have questions. I've already had a couple of people reach out and ask me about homicides in their neck of the woods, one down south, one out east. And I'm happy to take a look at those. I'm happy to talk to you about those. Uh, that's there's sometimes maybe there's things that we can do ultimately. If this is a collaborative, then we can maybe get some stuff done on those. I'm good at getting, especially on open murders, getting cooperation with other policemen. And as long as we're always trying to take care of the integrity of the case, I think we'll be in good shape. So continue to check in with us. I really appreciate it. Leave me your comments, um, thoughts. Sometimes that's a little easier to do on YouTube because those podcast platforms make it a little more difficult to leave, kind of direct comments. YouTube is easier for better or worse. You can say what I got thick skin, say whatever you like. And the I will say that you can always get a hold of me directly if you like at my email. It's Mike at detectivestory.net. It's just my first name, Mike, at one word, detectivestory.net. So email me if you have questions or comments, things you like or don't like, or suggestions about how the show could be better and how I shouldn't slap my mic and say so much and all those things. Uh, you know, Whatever you want to do. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Again, thank you to the families. This is always about the victims and their families as far as I'm concerned. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the wonders of technology, because even if I had anybody interested in being a studio audience, there is literally no room in the detective story war room here. It's pretty much me and the walls here and the wall right back there. So that's it. But the podcast. If you have suggestions for things you'd like to hear for the show, that would be great. I've already had some that have asked me to take to kind of highlight cases that are still open, and I'm definitely a look always. Um, so that's all I got for today. Have a great day. Detroit Lions fans out there. Look, I'm with you. I really wanted the Lions to get there. Uh, at the helm, you live and die with the roll of the dice. I guess they played really well and they had a great season. San Francisco is a really good team. For Ravens fans, I don't know what to tell you. You had a lot of opportunity, but it's Patrick Mahomes. It's just what he is. Should be a good Super Bowl. I'll say that. I would like for it to have been Buffalo and Detroit, just because in my family, anything that irritates the networks is ideal. Um, so that would have been great, but didn't work out that way. But as it is, seeing two really good football teams. So I would look forward to that. But this isn't a sports show, but thought I'd mention it because some of my Detroit fans are really hurting. I get it. I'm a Cubs fan. I get it. Get it. Anyway, have a great night. Thank you for checking in. We'll see you soon. Hey, stay safe. Take care of each other, right?